Jersey. How's everybody going? How's everybody going tonight? How is everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody is doing great. It's like the title says, we're doing some fingerstyle tonight. So as usual, there's a link in the description where you can download the tabs for this. So what we're going to be looking at tonight is Hey There Delilah or maybe it's just Hey Delilah by Plain White Tees. So this is a popular song, and I don't know, about 15 years ago, I guess. But it's like a really kind of a cool finger picking song. It's not as hard as it sounds, so it's pretty fun to play. Hello, Crit. Yeah, so download those tabs so you can follow along. And also there should be a link in there where you can download this pretty cool free chord chart from Guitar Control. Really recommend that. And happy to have you here as well, Crit. Thank you. Let's see here. How do we make... Okay. All right. So yeah, so everybody's had a chance to download the tabs. So this song is, for the most part, it's just got like a like three or four like different parts, and then they're just repeated, but they're all very similar. So as far as the picking with this, it's pretty much consistently the same all the way through. So if you're playing a chord, like the first chord is D, so when you play D major, you're only playing the first four strings. So in this case, your thumb will be playing the D string, and your first finger will be playing the G string, and your second finger on the B string, and your third finger on the high E. And so the rhythm for this, for like 99% of it, it's all made up of eighth notes. So we're going to play the bass note on one, and then on the and, we play those first three strings. So that first chord, it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's the first measure. So a couple of things that I want to show you on this, though, that can make it easier to make the transitions in this song, is a couple of little things that you can do. So the first one is instead of doing D like this, take your first finger and bar the first three strings at the second fret, and then use your middle finger to pick up the third fret of the B string, and then the D string is open, of course. So that's D. Now, the reason that we want to do it this way in lieu of doing it this way, even though when you're going to watch me play it, I'll be doing it this way, because that's just, I've always played it that way. I just have muscle memory for that. But when you do D like this, the second chord in the second measure is F sharp minor. So all you do is keep your first finger where it is. You take your middle finger off and set your third finger onto the fourth fret of the D string. And that's F sharp minor. And it's the same picking on the same strings. Hello, Dieselman. Ireland. Awesome. That's a place on my bucket list. What time is it there right now? Yeah, so these first two measures is a big part of the song. Like it's repeated over and over and over again. So we have that first measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we switch to the F sharp minor, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then back. 1:05 a.m. Yeah, so that puts you, what, 7 hours ahead of where I am. Yeah, so these first two measures, if you just practice that much of it, like I said, that's like a big part of the song. It's just that riff. But like I said, if you do it like this, all you have to do is just raise your middle finger, drop your third, and back. Right, so that's the first two measures, and that's repeated twice. And then if you look on the third measure, the third and fourth measure are the exact same thing, and it's repeated twice as well. So that's just where the vocals come in. So I guess if you think about it that way, you're going to play through the whole uh, that whole sequence 4 times. Or would that be right? Yeah, 4 times. Yeah. So, and like I said, it's pretty much. Oh, it worked in the diesel business, Northern. I have to forgive me. My eyesight's getting bad, or it's hard to read the comments now. All right. So the first 2 times you go through it, there's no vocals, and then the second 2 times you go through when it's on the verse, then you're going to have vocals. So. Vocal start. All right, so now we go. Okay, that's really bizarre. I just noticed something on the transcription. So on the second staff, yeah, there it says, it shows section C, and it's the chorus. In the space between that and the previous staff, it has these chords: B minor, G, A, B minor, A. I have no idea why those are there. So just completely disregard that. All right, so on the chorus, we start on that same D. Now this is where we're going to get a little bit of a change as far as the timing. So we've got 1, and 2, and 3, and now we're going to play the A string open, but this is a quarter note, so this takes up all of beat number 4. So you're going to be 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Now that extra half of a beat is going to buy you just a little bit of time to transition to the next chord. Now the next chord is B minor, so it's full on bar chord here. But if you do the D like this, the way I was showing you earlier, when you make that change to B minor, your middle finger is already where it needs to be. It's the same note on D as it is in B minor. It's on the third fret of the B string, done with your second finger. Hello, Rick. Welcome. So when you make that change from like this, all you have to do is just scoot your first finger, across the lower string. So you start barring at the 5th fret, and then set your third finger down onto the 4th fret of the D string and your 4th finger down onto the 4th fret of the G string. Now, on this, since we're not even playing the high E string, you don't even have to bar. All you have to do is be able to get the 2nd fret of the A string. So if you're having problems barring, as long as you can get A, D, G, and B, you're fine. So when we switch to this B minor, we do this for 8th notes for 1 and 2 and. then starting on the, or actually, my bad, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and then starting on beat 4, we've got this A over C sharp chord, the A/C sharp. So again, easy transition. So now what we're going to do is your first finger is just going to scoot back up. So that way you're doing like a regular A major chord. So A string is open and I'm barring my first finger across the second fret of the D, G, and B string. But it's A over C sharp. So what we're going to do is have this, but we're also going to pick up the 4th fret of the A string. Now I'm using my 3rd finger, but for some of you that might be like might feel like a big stretch now. So you can use your pinky in lieu. It's fine. And you're going to do that same thing on the same strings. So it's going to be 4 and. So you got, and then it goes back to D. So the chorus starts there, and it's 2 measures long, but it's repeated a total of 4 times. That's the. Or if you do it the way I was saying earlier, you can. Now, when you transition from the A over C sharp back to D, if you do it the way that I was showing you, your first finger is already where it needs to be. You just got to scoot it up so that that D string is open, drop your second finger, and you're back to your D major. All right. So does anybody have any questions thus far? All right, Crit, I like your attitude. That's pretty much that's the secret to playing anything is just be willing to sit and practice it enough until you can. All right. So for those of you that have just joined, there is a link in the description where you can download the tabs for this. And if you like what I'm doing, hit that thumbs up button, leave me a comment. All right, so then so far, and this really is the most efficient way to play this. I know you see me keep going, not doing it. It's just because I can already play it the other way, and it's not like difficult for me or anything. So it just isn't really worth the effort to like try to get new muscle memory for it. But if you're a beginner or if you just you haven't quite got the experience to make the changes quickly and stuff, this is just a way to really kind of make it easier. All right. So yeah, so that's basically where we are now. So there's, this is just, we're just going over just the parts. So if Oh, I think crap. Now I know why that has those chords up there I was talking about. Is I'm not sure how this happened because I'm the one that put this one together. So I screwed up somewhere there. So there's actually there's actually a section that's missing. Yep, I apologize for that. I'm not exactly sure how that happened, other than I'm going blind. Anyway, I'm just going to go over it. I'm going to explain to you how to do it, but I will get the tab updated on this so you can re-download it to get the part that's missing. Because while I was playing this, I was going, gosh, it feels like there should be something else coming there. Okay, so on the verse, after it does the intro part, those two measures that are repeated there on section B. Then we go to a B minor. So it's just like the B minor, we're playing the inside strings here. So plucking the A string with my thumb and then the D, G, and B string with my fingers. So we've got the B minor, 1 and 2 and 3, and then we go the open A string on beat 4. So. Hello, Daniel. That's cool. That's cool, and no worries. Okay, so yeah, it's that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now it's a B minor over A. So all we're going to do is just scoot your finger up so the A string is open. But this time you really do need to oh, I guess you don't. My bad. I was thinking you needed a bar. So yeah, so it's B minor, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then to a G. Now on the G, we're going to play the bass note is the low E string, and then we're playing the D, G, and B strings with our first, second, and third finger. So that's 1 and 2 and then to A, 3 and 4 and. So. Back to B minor again. This time it's just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we're going to go to an A. So on this A, there's something that a little different that happens here. So we're going to play the bass note is on the A string, obviously, and then we're playing the D, G, and B strings. So it's 1 and 2 and then for 3 and 4 and, we're still going to play the bass note as the open A string, but we're going to move our fingers up a set of strings. So instead of being on the D, G, and B string, it's on the G, B, and E string. So this right here presents a problem that I've discussed before with playing A like this. So I've talked about this lots and lots of times. But when you see A written in like traditional chord books, they're saying to play with these 3 fingers like this or these 3 fingers, and I'm always saying just to do it like this. Well, when you do it this way, often for a lot of us, that high E string is muted because we can't bend our finger up out of the way enough. Now, for most things, it doesn't matter because you're already getting that E here, right? So if in this case where we need to get that open string, there's a couple of things that you can do. You could just switch and play it this way. This is like the least desirable choice, is to just do this. If you take your, when I have my finger this way, that high E string is muted. But if I just twist my arm like this, so that way I'm going across a little bit of an angle, then I can get all of it. Now, I don't normally want to play the chord like that because it's a little bit awkward, to say the least. But just for this quick passage. And actually, I think it's a whole measure of each. So again, I will, this section of the tabs that is missing, I will, you'll probably just have to re-download the whole, you'll have to re-download the whole package, but I will get it corrected by tomorrow. And again, I apologize for that. That's really weird. I'm trying to figure out how I did this, what exactly is that I did to screw it up. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then that's where it goes into the chorus. So the whole verse and then going into the chorus is going to be like this. I thought the whole time I was doing it, it's like something doesn't seem right. So this is the chorus. And then that just leaves this one last section, the bridge. So from memory, it's intro, verse, chorus, bridge, and then I think it just choruses out like that. I don't remember if it does more than one. I haven't heard the song in a long time, but I've heard it like, a million times. When the song came out, I did lots and lots and lots of guitar lessons on this song. Yeah, Jersey. I think you're talking about. I remember that, but I can't think of what the commercial was for. But they were a band that they were kind of somewhat of a one-hit wonder back then. All right, so for the bridge, we start off with G. So we just got a whole measure, and it's the same way it was on the other one. So our bass note is the low E string, and then I'm playing the D string with my first finger, the G string with my second finger, and the B string with my third finger. Still the same eighth note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then to an A major. Same thing, but now the bass note is going to move from the low E string to the A string, but we're still on the D, G, and B string with our first, second, and third finger. So a whole measure of this one too. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so. Now we're going to go to a D, and we're going to do with this what we did at the first of the chorus. So we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and, except now the note is the 4th fret of the A string. So we're hitting that on the downbeat of 4, and it's a quarter note, so it's the whole thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to B minor. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So quarter note at the end of the third and fourth measures of the bridge. See, that's another thing I should have noticed too, is that the intro through the verse is the first 4 measures, and then it's all of a sudden measure 9 for that chorus. So that means that there was those other measures that I missed, 5 it looks like, where those chords are up there. That is so bizarre. I just still can't figure out how I managed to do that. Oh wow. I'm sorry to hear that, Daniel, but that's great that it's that you're getting it back. That's crazy. In 1980, so I mean, man, that was a while ago, 40 years ago. That's all right. So that's that first 4 measures of the bridge, and then that's repeated. So you're going to play through the whole thing twice. So you got the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All right, now I got to turn the page to back to G, A, then 2 measures of B minor, and then that A thing again. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we move our up. So we're on the first 3 strings. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then it goes into another chorus. Oh, you bet, Daniel. You bet. All right. So yeah, so that's basically all of the parts to it. It's pretty easy to tell which part is which, by the sound and the song. Even if you're not like really familiar with the song, it's still pretty easy to figure out which parts are which, like to be able to identify them by the sound. So that would be, first, familiarize yourself with it. Work on any transition that you're having issue with, and then I can't remember the tempo of the song. So I'm going to take a guess as to approximately what I think the meter is on this. My flashlight here so I can read the. Okay. That feels a little bit too fast. All right, that feels about right. That's 112 beats per minute. So I'm going to guess it's somewhere, give or take a little bit in that in that general neck of the woods for the tempo. So it's going to be challenging to play it that fast, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be played that fast. So we could just slow this down. Obviously, that's what we're going to have to do at first, right? So let's try. Put my light away too soon. Let's. All right, that's 80 beats a minute right there. So which is obviously slower than the song is, but if you practice it with the metronome and you can just really get it where you can feel where those. So you can practice it, and even if you have to go even slower. But I would really, at first, I would kind of work with just those first two measures. Trying to play this chord the way I showed you, and it's screwing me up. So you just practice with the metronome like that and work on just making that change. And then keep going through the song as you come to chords where you're having a challenge, making the transition, just work it out, find the, where it is that you need to cut something to get. Where is it, where are you moving more than likely? Where is it that you are making too big of a change, lifting all of your fingers off, moving one finger at a time, things like that you want to like try to iron those things out. But yeah, so that's basically it. That's basically all the parts to the song. So does anybody have any questions? And it does not have to be about this song or anything like that particular, just guitar stuff. We got time. This is my favorite part. I like talking with everybody. Oh, well, that's great, Daniel. Could have been me. I don't remember. But that's great. Yeah. That's the thing, is to just keep going. I just don't really. I'm not a big believer in that. Like that, it's not for everybody. I've had thousands of students, and I've never had anybody that I thought, oh, you can't play. I just, not everyone's going to become like, amazing. But everyone can certainly learn how to play. Crit is what the easiest finger pattern for fingerstyle. What I was playing this. Is that what you were talking about? I think I was playing that when that came up. Jersey, if I bought any new guitars, new. Yeah, I kind of doubt I'm going to be buying anything new for anytime soon. Oh, for Hey Delilah, is it the easiest No, there's things that are easier. I mean, what you're doing with your picking hand is pretty easy because it's kind of like let it be, where it's just that, you know, right left piano kind of a rhythm. Um, so that part's pretty easy. But I mean, a lot of people are gonna struggle, with the bar chords and things like that. I hope that answers your question. Okay, Craig, if you're you want to improve your hand, you got that course, that finger picking course, that exercise that's in there that has like four variations where you're playing like I can't remember the chords. It was like C, G, F over D sharp, and E minor, something like that. I can't remember. Yeah, for the Pima ones. So if you're working with those and you're just getting the I know there's like four of them, but just work with when you get where you can where you're pretty efficient with that, then just work the other ones and work your way through until you get the those exercises are really good. And then just working with just any songs, stuff you can do that is fingerstyle. I have a whole bunch of. I know there was actually some songs in that too. I think that Let It Be was in there. Uh, I don't remember what it all was in it. That was like years ago when I made that. But there's there's lots and lots of songs and different like riffs and things that we can work with that can really help with that. Hello, Paul. All right. Well, if nobody has any questions, and like I said, it doesn't need to be about that song per se, just guitar stuff or whatever. But if nobody has any questions or anything, we for finger strengthening. So, are you referring to? I'm assuming that you're referring to your fretting hand and not for like finger picking. Is that? Because I mean, there's things I can tell you for both. Okay, so there's a few things that you can do. So a really good one, this is kind of a good starter one, is get you a stress ball. And if you don't have a stress ball or you can't find one, these things. Remember back in the '90s, and it was just like anywhere you look, there was one of these things for sale. And now you never see them. Somebody gave this one to me. It's like says something photography on it or something. But yeah, so you take it and you put it in your hand, and you don't want it. You're not trying to do this. You want to put it in your hand so your hand wraps around it like this, and then you're closing your hand like it's like you're making a fist, but isolate it like really like focus to it being your fingers. So what it is you're curling them in, and that's going to help strengthen these muscles right here in your fingers because that's where a lot of the fretting power comes from is right there, like that. And then another really good one, but I don't have any. The hell are these things? I don't have a rubber band here, but like what Chris was saying, a rubber band. So you can get an elastic band. They actually make a product that I don't know if it ever became something that became for sale. I got some at the NAMM show like 10 years ago that it was more or less did the same thing, but it was a little easier to use. So anyhow, you can take a rubber band and you could put it around, like your first and second finger, and then exercise, with the resistance. So the rubber band's on here, so it's making resistance to do this. Because all of our strength and motion generally comes from closing this way, not, moving this way. So, you can move, but you don't have a lot of strength. So to kind of help build up some of that side to side strength, which isn't so much for playing in the sense that you think. It's more for, like, if I'm playing, a chord and then I move up here, a lot of times what will happen is that people will try to move it up and then their fingers will go together because they don't have any of that rigidity strength in between. So you can do the rubber band thing to stretch this way. And then you want to put something soft in between your fingers that'll give you resistance. So you could like a sock or something. Like you could take a sock, and you're probably all wondering, why do you have a sock just sitting there on your computer? Because this is where I record, and like sometimes I use this as a cheater around the fretboard to keep the guitar quiet for a track. So if you take something just so it has some squishy to it like that, put it between your fingers, and then you're closing like that. That stuff can help speed the process up of getting the strength and everything. But one of the biggest things with this that you want to be, I cannot stress this enough, is don't overdo it. This is not the case where you play through the pain. If start out just doing it a few times, and then the next day do it a few times, maybe you can do a couple more, kind of build yourself up to it, because since these muscles and things and joints don't get used in that way a lot, so there's most people are weak already in those aspects just because we don't do anything really with our hands like that, right? In normal day-to-day stuff. So train of thought derailed. Oh, it's really, really easy to injure yourself, to pull ligament tendonitis, things like that, and it sucks. You don't want to get that. I've had a tennis elbow 2 or 3 times, had to get cortisone shots, and not because I've ever played tennis before in my life. I think it's funny they call it tennis elbow, but I guess it's got a little bit better catch to it than undercar yanking on a wrench your whole life elbow. Yeah, Craig, you do feel it immediately. You're welcome, Daniel. Does that help? I hope that made sense. And then like exercises you can just do on the guitar, obviously, or things, like alternate picking exercises and things like that, where you're just going through these motions, or just playing scales, any of that kind of stuff. That's all stuff that's going to really help your fingers, to get stronger and, more limber, so to say. All right, does anybody else have any questions or anything? And I will be on tomorrow, same time. And tomorrow I'm doing something that is a little out of my comfort zone. Something that I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it's gonna end up or whatever, but I am gonna give it a shot, and hopefully it works out good, and it can be something that could help all you guys as well. But you'll have to tune in to find out what it is. Tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Except I identify more as Spider-Man than Batman, but you know. Yes, Paul, I do have my own YouTube channel. I haven't uploaded anything on it for years because I've been kind of, this has kind of been my gig. It's one of them things I keep. Oh, I got to get back to it. I got to get back to it. But I just haven't. But I have a feeling that I will be here pretty soon for various reasons. But yeah, it's what? I'll let you know. I've been trying the drunken monkey walk. I'm not sure what that is. Now my train of thought just derailed again. But yeah, it should be interesting. So yeah, and for anybody that maybe just now joined in because for some reason it seems like everybody comes in at the end, no matter what time this is. If there's tabs available for the song we went over and everything, so download those. If you download them tonight, it is going to have there's a section that's missing, and I'm going to get that fixed. So it should be sometime tomorrow, the updated version, but you can download it twice, it doesn't matter. The drunken monkey walk is a scale thing. I have never heard of it. There's like tons and tons and tons of these different exercises and things, for like this is one that's really common. Where you just go on through and you're just doing chromatically playing all of the strings, all of the frets. Where that is working out your hand, it is working your fingers and everything. I don't think it's I personally don't advise doing it because it's training your ear bad, in my opinion. I think you're better off, you can accomplish the same thing by actually playing diatonic scales. Whoops. And then it's actually musical sounding on top of that. And it's just better for your ear, but you're still accomplishing the same thing with working your fingers. Drunken spider. Yeah, I've never heard of that, but there's so many different things like that. My battery dead, have to recharge, been passed out, crash, sleeping hard. All right, Scott. Well, welcome. Yeah, let me give me just a second. I'll see if I can find my YouTube channel. I don't even remember what whoops. I don't even remember what it is. Yeah, I have a whopping 73 subscribers. That's part of the reason why I stopped really doing anything on it is when I first started with YouTube, the whole YouTube partnership and monetization thing was different. And even though I didn't have a whole ton of subs, I was still making money. Not very much, but I was, it was a start. Now it's like you have to have like 1,000 subs before you can even monetize anything. So most of the stuff, if I do anything on my channel, it's just going to be for fun, for the most part, I believe. right, so there's the link to my my personal YouTube. If y'all want to do me a solid, you could go on there and subscribe. If I got a bunch of subscriptions, new subscribers, maybe I'd put something up. But yeah, I was the last time I really used it was when I was doing reviews and demos and stuff for Spear Guitar. All right. Well, oh, thank you, Jersey. I really appreciate that. So yeah, so that basically, I think we can call it a night. But I really appreciate everybody coming out. Like I said, I will be back tomorrow. Oh, thank you, Paul. And it's going to be, I don't know. Hopefully, it isn't a disaster. What I'm going to attempt to do, but yeah, like thank everybody for coming out. I really appreciate it. These are, oh, thank you, Rick. These are just getting kind of better and better, and been really, and enjoying, doing these for you guys and stuff. So yeah, I will be back on tomorrow, and I hope everybody has a great night, and hopefully I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks.